Welcome everyone to the Hurley Investments Market View Commentary for March 16th, 2020. And there are a couple things I want to go over tonight, but let's start off with, out of curiosity, how many of you have ever seen the movie Red Dawn? And I'm talking about the 80s version. I guess there is a new one. I'm going to say 80s version is better. But if you guys have seen Red Dawn, it's the, what is it? It's the, I strongly recommend while you're quote unquote quarantined, go to Netflix, go to anywhere and go find the 80s version of Red Dawn. There's one probably in the 2000 teens, 2013, 14. There was a remake of it. But what happens is the Russians and the Koreans, maybe the Chinese, come and they invade the United States. And they take over from like the whole East Coast, the whole West Coast, but the middle, the plain states, repel them. And they work on getting back to well, and it's about, I guess it's about the small America town that gets taken over by the Russians and the South Koreans, and there's 6 kids that take off to the mountains and they live up in the mountains. They hunt, they attack and raid the convoys. And I think we're what? Someone's give me a suggestion. How many weeks away do you think we're at till we're at martial law here in the United States? How many weeks till they say, okay, we're going to shut down everything for 2 or 3 weeks? We're going to shut down stores. We're going to shut down everything. Oh, come on, Abraham. Sushi's awesome. You can choose to cook the fish if you want to, but out of curiosity, how many of you feel that we are, how would I say it, that we're one incoherent, off their rocker politician away from going to close everything down for 3 weeks to make sure that the virus doesn't spread, so we can just pass it amongst ourselves? It's funny. 2 people said, I hope not, and never going to happen. If it was a Democrat administration, I'd say it happened tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, the short answer is probably not. Probably not going to martial law, but more importantly for us, right? For us, we probably can't read. I got it blocked off. We are probably not as close to the bottom as we think. What does that mean? Well, as I take a look, and to put this into perspective, right? Wild day today. In fact, the S&P was down 11.98, finished at the lows. The NASDAQ was at 12.32, and the Dow Jones was at a 12.93, yet we were down 13.25, and guess what wasn't triggered today at the close of our market? Take one guess what wasn't triggered that should have been on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. when it lost more than 13%. That's right. No circuit breakers were triggered. So they were triggered last night at 5% on the futures, triggered first thing this morning at down over 7%, when you could tell last night it was going to be down more than 9%, which is kind of retarded. And then we went to 13%. Here I thought we were going to get all excited. We're going to see some amazing twice, I guess we're going to see history. For the first time, we'd have 2 circuit breakers go, and never happened, which was absolutely, I was crushed. I was all ready to go see, I wanted to see history. With that said, if we can just take a look at where things are at, a lot of things look ridiculously yummy. Ford down to $5.01. I remember thinking, man, if I could only get into Ford at $1.50 or $3.50 back in the day, and I missed it. I might not miss it. We might be in another huge opportunity. Apple, $2.42, from $3.35-ish maybe, right? We're only down $75. Of course, that $75 is 25%, but not down too bad. Facebook at 146. I remember when it was almost, it was at 228. Walt Disney back to $95. I bet you money we'll get into Disney at $86 in the near future. Bank of America at $20, a screaming buy. Boeing at 129. I remember getting out of Boeing at 135 after sitting in it through 4 years between like 70 and 78. Finally getting out of 135, just going, oh, about time. Exxon Mobil, $34.49. I'm not too interested in not too interested in energy or oil right now. I don't see a catalyst in the near future. $39.49. It's lost 70% of its value. Again, back to Ford, and that's 70% of its value. Visa, 152. Caterpillar, 93. First Solar, $31. Nvidia, 196. Remember when it was trading at 285 not too long ago? Netflix down at 298. Dominion Energy, I don't follow that one anymore. Morgan Stanley still at 31. That's not too bad. Baidu at $89. Shocking. Where's I went through Disney, right? There it is, Disney 95. So things are looking yummy. But here's the question. Things are looking yummy, but here is the question. How will the market react when the virus really hits the fan? Kind of an important question to have thought out. Where I'm going at with this one. Coronavirus update, and I've been using not the CDC, it's behind latest updates. This is what I have been using. No, it's not. Oh, come on. Which one was I using? This is the one I've been using. So let's go through this and put it into real sense, right? And I'm going to apologize up front if someone you know has it, or it's more serious than we think. But 181,218 divided by, how many people do you think are on the world right now? 8.3 billion? How many people are on the world right now? Someone give me an answer. And we have it in 9 billion divided by 9, 1, 2, 3, equals, geez, we don't even have that. It's ridiculously small. 2 to the e negative 5. So the short answer is you're moving at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you were to look at this more realistically, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That's how contagious it is to the world's population. If I was to be a little more cynical, 7121, I'm not trying to be cynical, so I do apologize. 7121 divided by 181,218. 0.39. 0.42 is a bad year for the flu. It's the bad year for the flu. So I'm just putting this into perspective. Because we're talking about the United States, if we look at the United States and where we're at here, and I know this has been a little bit higher. I took this morning. 2952, I think we're closer to 3,000, right? Excuse me. Take 57 and divide it by 2952. We're looking at 0. Well, I'll show you. We divide the number of deaths by the US cases. Just so you can see it. We'd be looking at 0.01930, which is a good year. And if we take the most recent one that was 75 divided by 3,700, you got to be kidding me. Come on. 75 divided by 3,700. Right in line, 0.20. So I guess my question is, do we really deserve to have our markets whacked by 30% in the last month? 29.41. Year-to-date down 26, 29.41 in the last month. Where are we going to stop? So as I'm looking at my charts, I'm looking for my entry point to start to cash in. Now, Keeve and I looked really hard, and we bit a little bit on American Outdoor Brands Corp and Ford. We bit a little bit on Boeing and Apple and maybe one other leap calls. But right here, we've got no biting going on. Let me shrink this down to make it a little better to understand. We're looking for a test on a bottom. We're looking through a double bottom. Yet if you were to look at this chart right now, even if we have an update tomorrow, if you were to look at this chart, I still see lower lows and lower highs. Which direction is our trend heading right now? What direction is our trend heading? Of course, you're right. We're bearish. Does anyone here think this could have been a double bottom? Or maybe this could have been a double bottom? Keeve and I thought so on both of them. We nibbled on both of them there. But before we went all in, we wanted one more day to validate. We wanted an up day. Instead, the market tanked. Man, we had such a double bottom opportunity last week. Stopped on the pivot, stopped on the pivot, stopped on the pivot. We were like, man, we're going to go all in tomorrow. One standard deviation down over the last 30 days. We were there. You couldn't have had more of a double, triple bottom to the penny. You know what? Let's wait one more day. And man, Keeve and I went back and forth against each other. No, let's do it. No, let's do it. No, let's not do it. Let's cash in. Let's add more shares. Oh, so tough. Nope. Let's be patient. Let's stick to the process. Let's stick to the system. Let's have it prove itself. Thank God, right? Because we tanked. One question for the group I'd like everyone to answer. In any way, shape, or form, does that look like a double or a triple bottom to someone? Looking at this section the last 3 days, all you chart people, double bottom, triple bottom, are we testing? Are we good? Is now when we go all in? Well, out of 21 people, I had 2 no's and 1 I'll wait. Everyone, give me an answer. I want you to call it right now. It's really tough. Call it right now. Triple bottom, we're down 30%. Are we good to go? Are you ready to put new money to work? So one of my favorites just said, I'll say, hell no. Need confirmation. 2 more no's. Not yet. You know, I agree. And this is why I told you probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I will probably miss the bottom. I hope I don't miss it by 10%. But I will probably miss the bottom. but that doesn't mean that we still won't have significant upside. I don't know how to describe this to you other than these last two pictures. In election year, especially when we're going to the House or the Senate, every election year for the past 20 years, except for 2006, has had a disease. I think 2006, the Democrats held, no, never mind. I was going to make a judgmental comment, but I would be wrong. It was Bush. 2004, SARS, avian, swine flu, MERS and swine flu in there. You actually had in 2009, the H1N1 virus, right? MERS, Ebola, Zika, Ebola again, Corona. Holy Toledo. And the funny thing is the contagion factor isn't even close to 2, it's 0.2 here in the US. Look at this one. President Trump coronavirus. And this is a couple weeks ago. I know it's bigger. But US cases at the time were 1329, 38 deaths. We're now up to like 37 and 75 deaths. Panic level is mass hysteria. You don't have toilet paper, which I saw some of the funniest things that I've never thought of, but apparently if someone sneezes, 10 people are going to crap themselves. So you need toilet paper. President Obama, H1N1 2009, 60.8 million people got the virus. US deaths, 12,469. And it's like it was nothing. Now, I'm not saying you go out and start licking door handles and that you put yourself at risk. But this is going to be a buying opportunity of a lifetime. Buying opportunity of a lifetime. Kevin, you got creamed. You're down 170,000. 170K divided by 11200. I was down 1.5% on an 11.98. Kevin, but you're still down. You're down like 10% overall now. I'm down 10% on a 30% drop. We're making up significant downside movement. Apple. We're still holding on to 295 puts for a stock that's trading at 245. And a rough idea, I've got $93,000 against 138 loss. We also have some calls in here. We're making up another 8. I'm going to have 102,000 against 140,000 loss. 102,000 to buy more shares of Apple. But Kevin, you've got some June 22, 330 calls. You suck. You're getting killed on your calls. What you spent $52.65 for June 22 is only worth $26.05. Yes, thank God they've only lost $22, well, $26 right now, instead of the 75 or 85 that Apple's lost. So yes, I'm going to dollar cost average. Well, Kevin, you've got some January 22 310s, and you know, you've got, let me go to something different here. Let's go to Boeing. I'm sorry, Boeing is the better one. Kevin, you've got January 21 350 calls. Boeing will never get back to 350 by January. Well, we paid like 42 for them. We have them down to 18. And if we doubled up, let's do some math here. $2.71 times 2 is 540 plus 1840 divided by 3. I'm going to have these way out of the money calls at a cost basis of $7.94. $7.94. Well, Kevin, that sucks. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard it. I get it. Kevin, they have a delta of 582. 582. So I've got 58, 582. They've got a delta of like a dime. I get it. But if you think Boeing can't move significantly higher on a day like today for the shares that we have in this group of accounts, the no Parker, right? You guys that are doing education in some way, we made 81 on the short calls. We made 23,589 against 24,354. You know what's amazing? I haven't seen this since 2008. We have more profit. We have more profit right now in our protection, 92,000, than the market value of the stock. If I took 92,226 and took that as profit, took our insurance as profit, bought into Boeing today at 129, divided by 92226 divided by 129.61. 129.61 is where it closed at, right? I'm going to get 711 shares. I'm going to get 700 shares for the person that has 600. For the person that has 500, we're going to get 600 shares. We're going to triple up on we're going to quadruple up on their share counts in this huge drop from Boeing. Let me ask the group a question. Is Boeing going to go out of business? How about Apple, Disney, Visa, Facebook, Ford, Under Armour, Bank of America? Holy Toledo. We got somebody out of Bank of America at $30 last year, $32. $20.44. We have protection all the way up at 29. Market value. Almost half of what they're currently worth. 50% more shares of stock here. Someone just asked, when did I put the protection on? Well, I missed the first big down day. We had options expire. So in all honesty, which I don't like being that honest because it makes me look bad, I'm pretty sure February, probably it was that Monday that we had no protection on. And the S&P lost 100 points. So we started getting it on. And by this day, we had everything in place, and look at the drop. Amazing. So someone just asked what percent drop would you wait before you start buying on your wish list? Again, I'm looking for some stabilization. I might want to see it for a week. But if you ask me where we might be going to, I think we're just going to get worse the next 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I think as we're protecting through earnings, man, it's going to hit the fan. We are going to just have a bugger of a time. If you ask me, I would tell you we're probably going to get down to right there. I could see 2,000. If we lose 2,000, man, maybe 1665. Someone just said good support at 2250. I'll be honest with you, I don't see it. I don't see the support there. I don't see it. I don't see any support at 2250. It's just not there. You could justify maybe 2100, but if we're there, we might as well go to a round number. All right. Who, what, and when do I pick up more shares? That's going to be the question here, right? Here's our market recap. We're in a free fall. What I do know for who, what, and why for our shares, kind of interesting, but I have protection expiring 3/27, 4/03, 4/09. So we have monthlies expiring now. For a lot of my stuff, I've got 2 weeks to decide, then I've got 3 weeks, and I have 4 weeks. And the next 4 weeks, I'm going to need to decide what do I start taking off. And I might not have a choice. I might have to be on April 3rd, time to cash this in, cash it in, pick up the shares, add protection on again for earnings. Boeing, April 3rd protection, March 27, short calls. I do have a lot of short calls expiring on the 27th. April 3rd for Baidu, which is kind of good. I get it just after the end of the month, where probably see some more selling here. April 9th on Disney for protection. I'm gonna have to make a decision on. Ford, April monthlies. Facebook, April 3rd and April 9th. We got caught on this one, so we had to do bear puts on the way down. Something to pay attention to. Well, never mind. I'll go through that next time. Never mind. Trying to get to Visa here. Visa, March 27th covered call. Monthly spreads on here. And let's go to Under Armour. Under Armour is another big one. April 9th there. Good profit in all these, my goodness. And look at the spread on this profit. That's what's even wilder. Shares are at 920. Have the right to sell them at 14, so they should have $4.80 of profit in it. I've got a spread between 250 and $7.20. They're saying the mark is 485. I bet I could get $5 out of it. Pretty amazing opportunity. But the opportunity is not here yet. I may have to take the profits, add the shares, protect through earnings, which I will go over again next week. And keep adding more shares again if we another 21% from here. A lot to decide, a lot to make a decision on. Obviously, all of our markets are going to be bearish, and I'm running out of time for what I wanted to go through, but do think about a recession. I'm having a hard time justifying or seeing a recession when we have the US customer at home buying crap off of Amazon. I guess we're going to put it to the test, right? I guess we're going to put it to the test and find out, is really 80% of the GDP based on the consumer? Because if it is, we don't have a recession. We'll be positive this quarter. We'll probably be positive next quarter. We might be a little negative Christmas quarter, but I don't see that. I don't see that in the numbers right now. So we might be in good shape, but I will definitely go through the recessionary opportunities and why it looks like we are more recessionary next week. For earnings coming up, nothing really stands out except for FedEx tomorrow after the market closes. General Mills, Guess, Five Below, Herman Miller, TripAdvisor.com, Darden Restaurants on Thursday, Duluth, Lennar, CTAS, Tiffany on Friday. None of our earnings are any bellwethers, so it'll be interesting to see. Maud, make sure I answer that question for you here in a second. Economic reports, monthly options expiration on Friday. That usually means we have a pretty down day. Maybe we'll have some short covering. Could be different this time. Will be interesting to see. We had a G7 coronavirus call today. Not much really came out of that. Monetary policy from Japan on Wednesday, China rate decision on Friday. They've only cut in the last 3 or 4 months, they've only cut 20 basis points, still have an interest rate at 4.05. So there's a lot of cutting that China could do to stimulate its country, whereas we basically ran into the buzzsaw, and we have zero interest rate, and quantitative easing for about 700 billion coming up again. Very interesting article. If you ever wonder why you're not keeping your money into the buy and hold, a 401k, this is an amazing article. It really comes back to last week. When you lose, it takes more to gain. That's why you need to have something that makes up some of the downside movement, even if it's only 5%. If you have 5% more makeup than the 30% that's down, that's going to save you 7% over the life of your funds. If you're just going by the market, you'll never beat it on an ETF and index, which means in the last 20 years, in all honesty, you still haven't doubled your money. In fact, you're probably closer to 50%. Really kind of a bummer. 20 years, if you just kept your money in there, you don't even have a 50% return or a 2.5% gain. Yet we always hear the market average is 7.75%. Well, when I got in 2000, my first 401k, where I'm sitting at 28 years old, and I'm getting for reals, I haven't even made a 50% return. The real gains, so let me take that back. I probably have like 180% return, but my portfolio has only grown by 50%. I'll have a link that shows that down the road. Stocks are expected to see more volatile movement, even if the Fed makes a big move in policy. Big movement came on Sunday, didn't help. These retailers are closing stores to slow coronavirus outbreak, which makes me think, don't be surprised if we get some kind of mandatory closures, but wow. Abercrombie and Finch, I don't know what Allbirds is, American Dream, Apple, Buck Mason, Columbia, Fossil, Gap, Glosser, Levi, Lululemon, might account for the big drop in Lulu today, Nike, Peloton, PVH, REI, that one's gonna hurt me, Under Armour, Urban Outfitters, VF Corp, Walmart. Wait till Walmarts are closed for 2 weeks. Then you're going to see how prepared people were if they could last 2 weeks with the food they have at home. It'll be a you-know-what hits the fan. This could really be Ron Paul's call for everything to go back to 865. We could be on that. The virus crashes a true black swan. Goldman finally says we could have a recession. Pretty interesting, and this is where you'll find that they think 41% drop is in the cards. Federal Reserve cuts rates to zero, 70 billion quantitative easing. Shocking. I guess we just print money till the cows come home. And there's my coronavirus updates just so I could show it to you, but I also brought these in here. Questions. Let me do questions the last 15 minutes. Maud, how quick do the indexes ramp up again? So in all honesty, usually when you had like a 6-week drop, it would take about 4 months to regain that. I believe it was on the last commentary, the one before that, I had an article where it's like 2.5 times the amount of time is what it takes to get it back. So the ramp up is never as quick as the fall down. Is typically what you see. This could be atypical. What are your 5 most yummy stocks right now? I'll be honest with you. I like Ford being down as low as it is. Under Armour is a good one. FCX is a great one. Apple, Boeing, Disney. My core stocks have gotten crushed, some as much as 60 or 70%. Those are all opportunities. And it's kind of funny, like someone has made the comment that they prep for hurricane season. You know, this seems worse than hurricane season somehow. I don't get it. I don't think so. But people are acting somewhat ridiculous. And maybe we do need to be quarantined this way to keep the spread. But man alive, I'm just scratching my head thinking, really? You've got to be kidding me. I don't know what else to say. My family, we always butcher a cow each year. We have some chickens. We probably have 52 square feet of beef and freezers, another freezer with frozen goods. I just call it trying to feed freaking 4 boys. So I think food and water, we'd run out of food and water in about 120 days. But we do have a creek down the road, and I just keep looking in the sky to see if some soldiers start jumping out of planes. If I see a Russian plane fly over and soldiers start coming out, all my boys know where the guns are, and I feel that I don't have enough rounds of ammunition. You can never have enough, even if you have close to 17,000 rounds. Bars are closed. In fact, in California, bars out here, we had all the Utah ski resorts. Kind of a bad year to buy a pass, season pass. We screwed ourselves. We have all the skiing is closed. Bars are also closed. Some restaurants downtown are closed. Taco Bell is not closed. I wonder when my son's going to come back and work. But yeah, in all honesty, I think the next 4 to 8 weeks, we're going to have some things that the U.S. has never seen again. And that's why I'm hesitant on cashing everything in now. As much as good as things are looking, there's so much downside still available that I'd rather miss the bottom to get a confirmed base built than just cash it in and think I'm smarter than the market. That's stupid. That's just dumb. And I'm doing the best I can to not be dumb. All right, questions, guys. I've got 11 more minutes. I'd love to answer questions. If there are none, you don't have to have any. But we're killing it. If you've only made up half of the downward movement, you're killing it. That's 15% of your portfolio that we get the dollar cost average that you're going to kill it in. If we're making up more than that, if you're only down 10%, that's 20% more of your portfolio that we're going to dollar cost average and buy you into stocks without calling you up and saying, hey, go put more money in your account. Don't have to do that. We're just going to cash it in and run. I got one coming in. Please, Abraham, do ask that question again. I missed it. Trying to go up and see if I see it, but I don't. We've had a bunch come in. So, which industries and stocks have the best prospective gains for the medium time range? So, in all honesty, I'm going to go with the fact that probably retail, financial, technology, and healthcare, which I'm actually riding on the coattails of probably Morgan Stanley. Those should have the biggest bounce backs. Now, financials, banking, not a Wells Fargo, not a, hey, we do mortgages. It's going to be the investment banking side. I would add that we must consider that many living habits will be changed. I disagree with you. I think people have short horizon or time frames. I think that when this passes over, in 6 months, everything will be status quo again. Even though we will run the risk of it coming back in winter. With all due respect, I'm saying this tongue in cheek, with all due respect, people are pretty stupid. People are dumb. And humanity as a whole, as I look at the youth growing up, it just seems like we're getting dumber. So, it's disappointing that if you make it through it and you get on death's door, either God saves you and you forget about him, or it was just dumb luck and you expect to be lucky the next time. We do an awful job of preparing ourselves for anything because we get hooked on how we're going to spend our next dollar on something we want. It's just human nature. What do I think of precious metals, gold, silver? Well, silver hasn't moved nearly as much as gold, although it's supposed to move better. I'll be honest with you, I don't think much of either one of them. When it really comes down to it, I don't think. I don't think of them very much. Gold's only at 15, 12. Silver, I'm pretty sure, was at 17. I don't think of them. I don't think about them. I just don't. Maybe I should spend some more time, but silver's had 40 years to get back up to 50, and it hasn't done it. Silver's actually at 13.18, so silver has fallen from 17 to $13 in this crash. Gold's at 15.11, so it's up a couple hundred. Was as high as 16, but I'll tell you this much: you've been a sore loser in silver for decades if you're trying to hedge your downside risk with silver. And gold hasn't beaten the market anyway, so neither one are particularly the best things. Some people think that when the banking system collapses, people are barter for gold and silver. I had a gold eagle and I wasn't able to pay my mortgage on it, my car payment on it. A guy would give me $20 for it in a store, but wouldn't give me the, $1,250 it was worth at the time. So to think that when all heck breaks out that you're going to barter with gold and silver is foolish, immature, and stupid. Just worth all the money printing and more QE. Yeah. It'll be interesting. If the reason why I'm looking for a 50% drop is I think we're going to pay back all the QE we had in 2008. And if we go through another QE band-aid, I can't speak. If we go through another QE band-aid right now, it just means our next crash in 4 to 8 years will be similar. So with all the money printing the QE, it's just a amount of time till we lose our reserve currency status. It's just a amount of time before we're going to have to pay for it in some way, shape, or form. And our next crash will be the same. We're expected a 50 to 75% crash every 4.2 years or 4.4 years that markets crash. The crashes are going to be intensified quicker and deeper than they have been in the past. And it's kind of interesting. If we're in a bartering system, I wonder how much people would give me for, a 5-10 pound roast. I've got some chicken eggs. You know what's really sad? This is just my personality. There is not a piece of my property that I don't have second story direct access at or a direct line of sight. So one of my little daughters said, well, Dad, what are we going to do if people break in and you know, start taking our chickens and our eggs. And I kind of giggled because I was like, well, you know how to shoot, right? And I said, yep. And I said, have at them, right? Have at them. We have a direct line of sight on all areas of our property. Relax, people. Relax. If you need some eggs, come knock on my door and I'll give you some. Guys, have a wonderful evening. Go rent the movie Red Dawn. Go watch it. The 80s one was better than the 2000 teens one that came out. I hope this was helpful for you to put things into perspective, to see how maybe overblown this is, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be fixed anytime soon. Just know that, you know, as a whole or as a group, I'm down somewhere between that 7.9 to 11-ish%. Anything that you're making up in that regard is going to be profit for you as things come back. And it's going to be even more so because we're going to convert it to shares or dollar cost averaging without asking you to put more money in. But if you have more money, now's a great time to put it in so we can get it to work for you. Guys, take care. Have a wonderful evening. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night and showing you the first strangle straddle. And with that said, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow evening. Good night, everyone.